In 2017, a new research and innovation university was inaugurated here in Morocco. Designed from the outset to be an ecosystem for innovation, research, and entrepreneurship, the first of its kind to be built in Africa. A next-generation university with 5 founding principles: promoting research, innovation, and entrepreneurship, developing skills and knowledge, bringing forth a new generation of competent leaders, developing sustainable partnerships, sharing the values of social responsibility and sustainable development, attracting many of the best minds from Africa and across the world to its main campus here in Ben Guir, 50 kilometers from Marrakesh. Mohammed VI Polytechnic University has a forward-looking approach to research and education, fully focused on innovation, experimentation, and the pursuit of excellence, with an ethos of learning by doing. PhD students and professors work together as part of a unique entrepreneurial culture, developing pertinent research projects critical to helping Africa realize its potential, with experimentation at the heart of education, starting research in small laboratories before scaling up to full-size experimentation in our living labs. Such as the experimental farms to test new methods in agriculture and fertilization. Making ideas grow and incubate in the innovation and entrepreneurship platform with a network of mentors, coaches, and numerous scale-up opportunities. Tackling the challenges of education in Africa is a core principle of the university by being close to policymakers while being anchored in academic analysis and knowledge. The university focuses on bringing concrete answers to the population's needs. The Digital Learning Lab develops digital modes of education, including massive open online courses, widening the reach of education and knowledge. The university aims to bring forth a new generation of environmentally conscious, competent leaders, offering scholarships to the best students from remote areas, being socially inclusive, giving a chance to everybody to succeed. The university is connected to a global network of academic and research institutions, while also developing partnerships with public institutions and industry, collaborating in R&D, continuous education, and knowledge transfer. Revitalizing agriculture in Africa is a challenge not only for the people of Africa, but for the people of an ever-growing world. By bringing humanities and technology sciences to the continent, and by educating the next generation of competent leaders, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University brings a solid contribution to Africa's sustainable development. Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, nurturing today's talent, impacting tomorrow's Africa.
Okay, so welcome everybody. This is the UMC Space School of Collective Intelligence. My name is Cathal O'Madigan. I'm the scientific director. I'm going to introduce you to everybody who's here today. Lex Paulson is our executive director. Ikram Shairi is one of our professors in machine learning and data science. Emile Servan-Schreiber is our professor in computer science. And we also have Fatima Zahra Ben Marakshi, who's the coordinator of the master program and a research and education fellow working on collaborative learning and computer science. And also with us are 2 of our master students, Amr Larouz and Khadija Zahiri, who you'll be meeting later on, and who are going to be answering some of your questions. So to begin with, myself and Lex would like to introduce the school. So Lex, would you like to take it away?
Thanks, Cathal. We're really excited to be able to present the School of Collective Intelligence to you, and with the hope of interesting you and learning more about our school and hopefully joining our community. Our school was founded in 2019 with the ambition of creating a new kind of research center that would study the art of group collaboration in a number of settings, in businesses that are needing better methods to solve complex problems, governments and ministries that need to create dialogue with citizens, and all kinds of generation of knowledge to solve problems like climate change, like the pandemic, economic inequality. So there's this great need for better methods and tools of collaboration. And so what we'll present to you in this presentation, which you'll be seeing shortly, is a few important elements about our school. I don't know if the slide presentation is ready.
I think the presentation is actually showing. So we're looking at why we need specialists in collective intelligence right now.
Excellent. Now I think it's coming on to the screen. So the real need is that problems in business, problems in government are becoming more complex. And what science is showing us is that the most complex problems cannot be solved by one expert or one small team working, but rather from the generation of knowledge from different disciplines. And so the School of Collective Intelligence is creating through its master's, its PhD program, and its social impact projects, exactly the kinds of interdisciplinary links and methods by understanding human cognition, by understanding the art of transforming systems to be more inclusive and participatory. And so demand from the business community and from the government is for people who can master how to organize groups together, how to help structure collaboration. Because as we know, groups can be very smart when they're grouped together, but groups can also be not very smart. And so the School of Collective Intelligence is dedicated to producing the right methods and tools for organizing groups to think better, solve problems, predict, and make decisions better together.
Cathal, just to tell you that we are not seeing any presentation at this point.
Yes, but I think the audience is. So let's see if we can fix this. I'll just adjust it, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. Hang on. Hold on now.
So just to continue, what we've built through our research programs and our faculty are bringing together folks like myself who have a background in politics and democracy, folks like Cathal with a background in cognitive science, philosophy, folks like Emil with a background in here we go, perfect, with a background in prediction science, Ikram Shairi with a background in data science, and building a new kind of school around all the different disciplines that help us organize groups better, to think better together, make better decisions, and solve the kind of complex problems from the pandemic to climate change, to building trust between citizens and government, the kinds of problems that are really defining this century. So Cathal, maybe if you can say a few more words about the faculty, if you wish.
Great, thanks, Lex. Yeah, so as Lex was saying, the focus of our school is on this question of how to organize groups in a way that allows them to solve problems most effectively. And that can be how they learn together, how we can work together most effectively, whether we can get data from large groups of people to answer questions really efficiently. And so this field of collective intelligence is a new science. And it draws on computer science, data science, cognitive science, philosophy, and even economics. And we have people in our school reflecting all of these different interests. So several of the members of our school are computer scientists. For example, Mark Klein, who you can see at the top left here, and Emil Ilservan-Schreiber. And both Mark and Emil have the practice of building computational tools that allow us to harness the power of groups. So for example, Emil has a tool called Hypermind, which allows large groups of people, up to thousands or tens of thousands of people, to solve problems simultaneously by gathering together online and inputting their solutions to a problem, which are then aggregated in an efficient way to allow us to draw a solution out of the proposals of many, many people. And this has to do with a crowd being used to solve a problem together. Fatima Zahra Ben Merakchi and James Winters are both interested in cognitive science and computer science. Fatima Zahra works on how groups can learn more effectively together. And James looks at how new ideas get passed between the different members of groups, so how we can more effectively transmit ideas from one person to another. We also have Florencia Devoto, who is an economist, and she works on how you can get information from groups to address problems like how to optimize a lending system or a micro-lending system for particular rural communities. And Ikram Shairi is a data scientist who you'll be meeting in a minute. And she works on, among other things, she works on the question how you can extract meaningful information from very large bodies of data. So in the context of group intelligence, one of the things that we can do now is you could have a survey on Facebook, for example, and you could literally have hundreds of thousands of responses. But if you have hundreds of thousands of responses, how do you get meaningful information out of that? And this is the kind of thing that Ikram works on. And also we are cognitive scientists and psychologists, myself, Hugo Mercier and Brent Strickland. And Lex is a political philosopher and also works on the origin of democratic thinking. So we have a great management team who make sure that all of our projects work smoothly. And of course, we have a brilliant group of students. You can see here the first master class of students in collective intelligence. And Khadija Zahiri and Amr Larouz, who you'll be meeting a little later, are two of those students who you'll be talking to. In this current year, we have multiple projects and themes at work. We have research and development component to the school, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a minute. We have at the PhD program and the master program, so our teaching programs. We also have outreach programs where we work with the community. For example, we're currently building a prediction tournament where a large group of people in Morocco will take part in a game, effectively a game, where they all input their ideas as to how the development of the COVID-19 pandemic is going to develop. And using collective intelligence technology, we can use these predictions to make actually reliable predictions about how the epidemic is going to progress, which can be very useful for policymakers. So you can see there's lots of different angles to this school. Teaching, research, but also on-the-ground projects working with national non-governmental organizations and also governmental groups. And we have three angles to our research. So we talk about the research in the school under three categories. We do work on this theme that we've called collective intelligence across Africa, which is how to take what we know about collective intelligence and how to harness the power of groups and use it to address on-the-ground problems in Morocco and around Africa. For example, if you want to know how to implement ideas to prevent climate change or to address climate change, and you think that probably a lot of people in Morocco have a lot of great ideas to contribute here, well, one thing we're looking at is the development of a citizen consultation where we would actually get proposals from people all over the country and then aggregate those proposals in an effective way so that we can use the proposals of maybe hundreds of thousands of people to address this challenge. The collaborative learning group looks at questions like how do we organize classrooms, and that could be in the university or it could be in primary school, to make it such that the students can learn collaboratively. So we know that collaborative learning, that's learning in groups, is much more effective than learning passively when you're on your own. And the collective computation group is the group that builds computational tools to allow us to take advantage of the ability of groups to solve problems. And in the collective computation group, we also work on modeling. So we also try to use computer models to understand how people behave in groups. I'm going to now introduce Fatima Zahra Ben Merakchi, our Research and Education Fellow, who's going to tell you more in detail about the master program, which is in fact the first of its kind in the world, the first master in collective intelligence in the world. So Fatima Zahra, are you with us now?
Yeah, sorry, I have a problem. About our masters in collective intelligence. So our students will take courses in all three different fields as shown in the slides. You can see that have human behavior and cognitive science, which students will we learn about collective intelligence, psychology, cognitive science, and also experimental methods. So students will learn how to use methods of psychology to examine how human can think or human behavior, think in groups and performance in different situations or in different environments. And the next field, which is computer science and data science, it's here where students will learn how to manage data to draw meaningful conclusion from like thousands of opinions as you can get, for instance, in online surveys. And the next field, which is management and organizational transformation, and this is evidence-based management, where students will learn how to make strategic decision combining data and also for a cognitive diversity and collective inputs. So the next slide, it will be about the 2 years and the programs. So in the 3 years, or in each of these 3 semesters, students will take courses in programming, data science and statistics, also cognitive science, computer science, methods in collective intelligence, and experimental methods. So for the first year in the first semester, there will be also innovation and entrepreneurship and startup design. And for the second semester, plus the one that I just said, there will be also history, philosophy of collective intelligence, and facilitation and organizational change. And for the second year, for the first semester of the second year, this will be also political science and evidence-based leaderships. And for the semester or the second semester of the second year, there will be an applied or a scientific internship. So at the end of this year, students will undertake a 6-month internship. The objective of this is to apply the acquired knowledge and skills, both practical and theoretical. The internship is also an opportunity for students to develop a research topic. The next slide will be about the internship. In the internship, our students will work with organization and people that we know in business and non-business government organization. And here are some example of the project that the students will work on, like digital transformation of a large industrial company, and they're also supporting remote learning in rural areas, and community knowledge and forming public policy, and also studying how to promote gender equality in hiring. And the career for the Masters of Collective Intelligence, that in the field of human research, that students can become a computer, in human behavior and cognitive science, that students can be human research specialists or also a research and development officer. And here the students will acquire some methods and strategies that can use it in psychology to examine how human behave and performance in different situations. So the second one, which is computer science and data science, here the students can become a computer and information system specialist or technology specialist, or also can be data science analyst. And for management and organization transformation, the jobs can be, or the students can become management transformation specialists or can be an entrepreneur. And for next slide is about the admission timeline. So the timeline is May 31st, which is the day of the application deadline, and students who are interested in our master program can apply directly by the link of myum6p, and if there are any question, or they can contact us for some additional information. So the written exam and oral interview can be also in June and July. And here is some important information that students or potential students need to know about the admission, and also about the admission of master program. So here we are, or the candidates must have or hold a bachelor degree or equivalent, which is licence dans notre système marocain. We are open to students with a wide range of academic backgrounds. So students can have a bachelor degree in mathematics, computer science, physics, cognitive science, or management, or other scientific discipline. And the candidates at the oral interview and also in the written test that will be evaluated based on their skills and motivation. And for the scholarship, we had two types of scholarship. The first one is excellence scholarship, which is based on the ranking in the admission test, and financial aid or social scholarship. It's based on financial situation of each student, and it can go still a full scholarship with a 100% scholarship. And now.
Yes, so thanks, Fatima Zara. And I think Ikram may be joining us now, who's going to tell us about our work. And Ikram is a professor in data science and machine learning, who is teaching on our degree and is a very productive researcher in our group. Ikram,
thank you, Kahal. Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Kahal. So I'm glad here to share with you a bit my career and what are the scope of my research. So I started my career as a statistic engineer, and I was working as an actuarial consultant at ILM Consultant. And the reality is that I was always I was fascinated by the power of the data, how from analyzing the data we can take a good decision. And in the daily of my working, I was saying how we can save money by well analyzing data. So I decided to dig dive and go to do a PhD in machine learning, which was a field really interesting for me. I was discovering how to do data-driven models. Sorry, I cannot see this. Okay. So I've done my PhD in the field of machine learning, and then I had I went to Madrid in the group of applied artificial intelligence, working on the different projects in the University of Carlos III in Madrid, where I had the opportunity to apply mathematical modeling in a real project. Then I came back to Morocco, believing in the power of leveraging, believing in the possibility of leveraging artificial intelligence in Morocco by doing applied research projects. And I joined UM6P as a researcher and a professor in the field of machine learning. And I'm working in the group of modeling, simulation, data analysis, where I can lead a lot of different projects in the field of data analysis. At the School of Collective Intelligence, I am teaching programming, data science, and statistics, where I'm sharing with the students different methods and tools, how they can gather data, how they can analyze this data, how to check the quality of data before starting any modeling, and then how to model in order to help the community to take better decisions. I'm also leading some research, applied research, in collaboration with the international groups and with also companies, industrial partners, where together we are thinking on how modeling or machine learning can help to face some challenge that those companies are facing. I'm also interested in all different kind of research that's taken that are around the quality of data, and how can we work on the data and elaborate some algorithms that are not influenced by the quality of data. I'm happy to be here with you at this open days, and if you have any other question, please don't hesitate.
Thanks, Ikram. That was great. So I think Emile is going to join us now, and Emile Servan-Schreiber is a professor of computer science, and he also works on big data and prediction science. So Emile, have you joined us? Are you here?
I'm here.
Great. Okay, let's take it away.
Hello, everyone. So thanks for your interest, first of all. One of the reasons that we're here, I think all of us, and one of the reasons I'm so excited to be part of that school is that all the teachers and the researchers we have are truly exceptional, and sometimes I'm very humbled to be even part of that team. And I think we all believe that despite Ikram's strong interest and fascinating research in artificial intelligence, the intelligence in 21st century will not be only artificial, and that there will be a lot of room for this new science of collective intelligence, because the world is not going to get smarter by itself. And in order to make the world better, we're going to need to learn how to get smarter together. And that's what this school is also, I think, all about. So the way I got into this, my own history getting here today is, first of all, I got my bachelor's degree in computer science. At the time, it wasn't even called computer science. It was called applied math. Now it's called computer science. And very quickly, my interest was geared towards artificial intelligence at the time, and even more strongly towards cognitive psychology, which was a way of using computers at the time to try to understand the information processing in the mind. And I got my PhD in that at Carnegie Mellon. I was lucky to work with some brilliant researchers in artificial intelligence and cognitive psychology over there, and then became an artificial intelligence engineer with one of the earliest artificial intelligence companies in France, later sold to IBM and became part of the Watson, the famous Watson program at IBM. I was also lucky to be a consultant on brain and learning sciences with the OECD for quite a while. And then I created my company, which I still direct today, which is Hypermind, which is a company that organizes collective intelligence in large organizations, whether they be government organizations or large companies, multinationals, to try to tap the collective intelligence of their crowds, their communities, to make better predictions. And why, you might ask, is prediction such an interesting thing? Well, first of all, it's one of the probably the second oldest job in the world, making predictions. But also it's one thing that the brain is built to do. In fact, if you ask some of the most brilliant cognitive scientists today and artificial intelligence researchers, they will tell you that one of the reasons that artificial intelligence made such progress recently is we stopped trying to think of the brain as a reasoning machine and start instead to think about it as a prediction machine. And so prediction is really at the core of what intelligence is all about. And what's really interesting for us about that is that collective intelligence, the collection of people, large crowds of people, are one of the best ways of making predictions about complex issues today. Things like the pandemic, for example. So Cahal told you earlier about some contest that we are going to be running on campus this summer by using the campus community to make predictions about the pandemic evolution in Morocco, for example. It turns out to be really one of the most powerful ways of making predictions about the future, even though nobody, or rather everybody individually, is really bad about predictions. But together, we're really good at it. And that's what my research is all about, and my business practice is all about as well. So I do both research and try to apply it in the real world for real clients. Is how do you organize a group of people who individually are not really very good at making predictions about the future? How do you organize them so that together they can have some really good insights? So that's what we call prediction markets. It's also called crowd forecasting, and it helps companies become smarter by making better predictions to do better decisions, right? Because if you have to decide between different options, you want to predict which one is going to be more successful. It also has a lot of applications to democracy or government. Some people say to govern is to predict, right? You need to predict where you go before you can actually pretend that you're governing anything. So there are ways of using this crowd prediction paradigm to make democracy smarter and to help governments lead the people better. I'm lucky to, in my research, have lots of interesting collaborations currently with the CNRS and the Institut Nico at École Normale Supérieure in Paris on this prediction project in Morocco with UM6P, as well as some current research on better algorithms to make some very long-term forecasting with MIT. We did some really cool research on pandemic prediction with Johns Hopkins Medical School. And also very exciting, very new, because it's starting this month, is a big collaboration between my company Hypermind and this magazine, #1 news magazine in France called Le Point, where we'll be having a deep partnership to try to engage readership of a very large magazine into making predictions about all kinds of geopolitical business issues that are relevant to France, but also around the world, and also especially in Africa, which is something we're really excited about. And I hope it will generate lots of data that we can look at together at the school and try to derive some interesting insights from. That's about it for me.
Great.
I look forward to meeting some of you at some point.
Thanks a lot, Emile. So now I think we're going to open the floor to questions, and two of our master students, Amir Larouz and Khadija Zahiri, are going to join us, as well as Fatima Zara, our master coordinator. And I will just say that you should take down the email address there, the cimaster@umcspe.ma, for any questions you have about this. And you can also write to any of us. We're on our website at sci.umcspe.ma. That's sci.umcspa.ma. You can look up that website. You can find all of our contact information. Feel free to write to anybody with your questions. So I will close the presentation there. And so Fatima Zara, do you want to talk about what kind of work people do after the master degree?
Okay, Gal, thank you. In this master program, there are 3 different fields that you can work in. It's once you can choose if you want to work on computer science and big data, or management and organizational transformation, or human behavior and cognitive science.
And so I think, yeah, people work as well. We're expecting that people will work in areas like human resources or as data analysts. But also what's happening is a lot of projects are being developed at the school that our master students are going to be getting involved in, like projects with NGOs working on hackathons. So organizing hackathons in the best way, or developing spirit of entrepreneurship in the country. That's one project that the school is involved in. That's basically organizing the entrepreneurial groups like think tanks in such a way that best cultivates new ideas. Another thing we're working on is optimizing and fostering collaborative learning in Morocco. So it could be that the Ministry of Education will become interested in this. And it could be that then once you've been working in the project yourself through the master, that you would then work with the Ministry of Education to develop collaborative learning programs in schools. And another area we're working on is developing collaborative work. So it could be that if you're working on a project on collaborative work in, for example, a big company like OCP's Digital Transformation Group, that then you would go on to work with OCP's Digital Transformation Group after the master degree. So there's really a huge range of things that we expect our graduates to go on to do. Amr, do you have any thoughts on that? What kind of areas are you thinking that you might move into?
I guess that my case will be a good example. So first of all, hi everybody. I hope you're doing great. My name is Larouz Amr. I'm 23 years old, Moroccan. I am a student at the UM6P School of Collective Intelligence. I do hold a bachelor degree in international management, and my area of interests, and I guess that will answer the question, are the human resource as a function and the cognition as a science, trying to understand the human behavior and emotional intelligence behind the interaction between individuals to improve the group collaboration using collective intelligence tools. Sure.
Great. And Khadija, maybe you could tell us about something about your background and maybe where you expect the master's is going to bring you afterwards.
Hello, everyone. My name is Khadija Zahiri. I hold a bachelor degree in mathematics and computer science. I'm currently a student of the Master of Collective Intelligence. I'm interested, like Amr mentioned, also in human behavior. And I think holding this master degree, you would have a lot of opportunities because it's all about problem solving. You're either gonna work in a company or make an intervention for an organization, or maybe just do research. I mean, problem solving is a needed skill everywhere. So for me, I'm interested also in the human behavior as well as data science. So just using data science or artificial intelligence as a tool to model the human behavior and find solutions. That also something you can work on.
Super, thanks. So do we have another question? What can you tell us about your first year experience at UMC Space? So this is clearly for Amr and Khadija.
Okay, well, I will start first of all by saying that the UM6P School of Collective Intelligence is more of an opportunity. How? So the world is moving towards a perspective where collective intelligence as science, and we're talking here about the tools too, will be crucial. This said, our school, the UM6P School of Collective Intelligence, is the only one in the world that provides such a training and that teaches collective intelligence. And obviously here we can see that the offer is way too limited compared to the demand. And we do have the chance to have it here at the M6P, the School of Collective Intelligence. So I would say that this is an opportunity that you guys don't want to lose, so that you can transform this opportunity to a chance for you to be with us is by preparing. And I just want to add something. This is a question asked a lot. Guys, our school, it doesn't matter from where you came, doesn't matter how old are you. We do have people from Benin, people from Nigeria, people from Morocco too. We do have people that got 20 years old and people that got 32 years old. The diversity is the title, I would say, of our school. Also, talking about the backgrounds, we do have people from different backgrounds. I'm talking, of course, about the students. There is students from computer science, from a managerial background, economy, people from a literature background, and people that have done pure statistics. So it's just about you and if you got what it takes to get into the school.
For me, I would say the experience in M6P itself is amazing. Like Amr mentioned, you get to meet a lot of people from different cultures and background. But specifically about the School of Collective Intelligence, I think I had expectations when I started the program. Those expectations were met, and you get to learn from like the best professors in each field. And you get to conduct experiments and apply all the knowledge you learn about. So that also something really interesting about this school.
I don't know if I may add something, but I can promise you guys that if you get the chance to be with us, you will the best teaching core, I guess, professors that got careers talks about themselves, professors that are coming from diverse faculties and institutes. They will help you overcoming the smallest and the biggest problems that will be probably facing during your program. They will also provide you with all the resources you will need, and they will get you the latest scientific papers that you couldn't get to by yourself. Also, you will find a very, very effective management team. As we say, ils sont très à l'écoute. They will try and make your life student experience here at the M6P the best it can be. And you will find us, the first promotion, very welcoming, we hope. And we're already trying to find out how we can make your integration, inshallah, one of the easiest one, and try to get you to be part of the M6P activities and the school activities too, and try to introduce you to other people and show you around.
That's great. Thanks so much, Amr and Khadija. So let's see, what's the next? Is it possible to work on sports analytics field after finishing your studies? Is it supported by the school? Well, nobody in the school is working on sports analytics specifically, but I suppose a lot of sports analysis will look at the behavior of groups in, for example, teams. So it's not completely unrelated. And if AI, which is increasingly used to model posture and behavior in different contexts, if that's something that can be used in sports analytics, then that would be relevant. And if data analysis is something that can be used in sports analytics, then that's also going to be relevant. And what are the admission criteria? Fatima Zara.
Thank you. The admission criteria, that's we are open to students who have bachelor degree, I mean licence, in a scientific discipline, in computer science, mathematics, physics, or education, or cognitive science, or also in management. Yeah, we do a review on your submission regarding your grades and also your skills, abilities in how you can work. Like you have if you can have the ability to work on groups, we can test that, or also we can see if you are interested in learning more about the cognitive science and how human can think and collaborate together, and other admission criteria which is related to the your level or language level, which we are interested at students who has a good level in English.
Yeah.
And also,
there's also a written exam, isn't that right?
Yeah.
So we'll have a written exam, which focuses a little bit on quantitative skills, but doesn't require you to have any specific background. So it's just really looks at your ability to think quantitatively, and also an interview where you meet us and talk about what kinds of things you're interested in and how well you're interested in work in the school. So I think we saw another question that came up there. Oh, thanks. It's a great question. So yes, we have a lot of partnerships. At the moment, we're working with 7 companies that we're working with to place interns. That's to say, in the 4th semester of the master degree, that's in your second year, the second half of your second year, there's an internship, a 6-month internship. And the school already has partnerships, or at least collaborations, with a number of companies and non-governmental organizations. This includes the organization called Impact for Development, which works on various projects, including development of the entrepreneurship skills in Morocco. It also includes OCP, the energy company who sponsors a lot of the work in the university. And we're working with OCP's group of digital transformation, which looks at the development of new technologies for making work more effective. So we're looking at how to make collaborative work more efficient in companies. And so through this internship, which you will undergo in one of these companies or non-governmental organization partners, you will both show off your ability to organize a big project in collaboration with the professors and the company. And then also you're going to get a lot of, you're going to make a lot of contacts. So if things go very well for you in the internship in this company, they might hire you if in fact you're bringing to the company something that they're really interested in. So that's the main way in which we're trying to secure students' jobs. But I will also say that it's something more and more that people are paying attention to, is the fact that interdisciplinary degrees are very attractive to companies. So people who are not overly specialized tend to be better at solving problems and working with people from different backgrounds. And this is something that companies are well aware of. And so an interdisciplinary degree like the one we have in the School of Collective Intelligence is something that a lot of companies will find very attractive as students for employees. Amr and Khadija, you both had the interview. Do you remember what you thought of the experience in the interview?
Okay, I'll go. So I was a bit afraid to go through the interview, but I guess the interview was more about us, our background. Why do we want to get into the school? Why do we want to study collective intelligence? What do we know about collective intelligence? And what are our dream job, I would say, the projects we already have been working on and the projects we are willing to work on. So yes, it's all about those kind of questions. And also, what are your motivations in general that have to do with the field, or that have to do with your dream job in general.
And Khadija, what did you think of the interview process?
Yeah, like Amr said, the interview is just for discovering us, our interest, our motivation for the school, and I think it went really smooth. So there's nothing to be stressed about.
Yeah, and I think the interview wasn't so much of a test; it was more just a chance for us to get to know the people who were applying, to try to find a team that would work really well together as the first year of the master. So do we have more questions? Yeah, Fatima Zara, do you want to tell us about the doctoral program?
Okay, yes, in our school, we have a PhD program, which last year we have recruited 2 students, and now they are working on some interested topic that is related to collective intelligence. And after or finishing the master in our program in collective intelligence, you can apply for a PhD position. And also, if you have a master in different field and not from our institution, you can apply for our doctoral program.
Yeah, and it's a 4 years fully funded program, and it starts off with a first year where there's quite a lot of classes to take, and you learn, you strengthen your skills in statistics, particularly, and we have an emphasis on experiments. So you'd be working with people designing experiments to try to understand something about how groups behave well. So one of our PhD students at the moment, Ghaffari Lukuman, is working looking at how information is spread in groups. So for example, fake news, how fake news gets spread on the internet, the internet is just a big group of people online. So he's looking at why people spread false stories, and whether there are ways to let us in groups prevent fake news from being spread. And Maria Bracken is also one of our PhD students, and she is working on a big project to do with the way people think about finance, and particularly about loans. So apparently it's a big problem for getting people to take loans, for example, microloans, which are very helpful and can help small businesses to start. But a lot of people are nervous about taking loans. And so we're looking at how to use collective intelligence methods to make it clearer to people what the risks are and to understand what their attitudes are to risks, so that we can better present, for example, the advantages of microlending to people in rural communities. So the written exam involves questions that are kind of like an aptitude test. So they're not going to require you to have any specific math knowledge, but there are logical puzzles. So you'll have to try to solve some puzzles using really basic reasoning, but they're tricky puzzles. So you'll have to think hard about them. And really the written exam tests your ability to solve problems, to improvise solutions to problems. And Khadija and Amr, you both took the written exam, so I'm pretty interested to know what you thought of it. Khadija.
Yeah, like you said, it doesn't require any mathematical knowledge. It's just about reasoning and being logical. Some of them were a little bit tricky, but overall, it's just about your ability to reason and solve puzzles. It went also good, I guess. Anyone could pass it, even if they don't have a background in mathematics.
I would say that the argument that it doesn't require any specific knowledge, for example, for, let's say, technical knowledge, mathematics, statistics, is that we do have a student from a literature background. So I guess that the exam is more about the reasoning, as it's been already said, and it's more about how do you solve problem and your ability to solve problem. And I guess that beside this, there is the written language test, which is about just a basic language, just knowing what is your level in English. And I guess that it's easy. It's easy.
Great, thanks.
This is the last question.
Oh, is that the last question? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, Amr and Khadija, do you want to say anything in closing about your overall experience as students in UMC SPE and in the master degree?
Do you want to go, or shall I go?
I can go first. I just want to say that the experience in UMCXP is just mind-blowing. You get to meet a lot of people from different cultural backgrounds, and the campus is like this mini student town. And as for the school, I think it's a really interesting program where you get to actually learn about many things related to collective intelligence, and eventually you'll be able like to have everything that would like lead you to either yield intelligence from a group or solve complex problems. And you get to see that in action by conducting experiments and applying everything that you get to learn. And also the teaching staff is amazing. We get to learn from like the best of teachers, so the professors are just amazing, and I think overall the experience is mind-blowing. It's like it's not like anything I've ever tried before.
Thanks, Khadija. That's great to hear. How about you?
I would start by saying that first of all, the UMCXP as an ecosystem is, I guess, the best I've ever experienced it. You can have everything you need to just excel in your academic curriculum. You do have a 24/7 open classrooms when you can study. If you don't like to study in your room, you get to practice sport if you like practicing sport. For our master, I would say that collective intelligence is not only a training that we have, but we do the overall thing collectively. We do study collectively. We do build our lectures collectively. We do projects collectively. At the beginning, I thought that collective intelligence is the title of our master, but I would say that it's the lifestyle I am living now. Just to say for all you guys, I guess that the time is a bit short, so feel free to just if you do have other questions, feel free to send them on the social media accounts of the school or in our personal social media, and we'll be more than happy to answer them all.
Great, thanks a lot. And I think Fatima Zahra would join me in saying that the master's students, the class, is sort of at the heart of our activities here. So we were very excited to have the first cohort of master students join us, and we're really looking forward to the second class joining us in September. So I think we're going to get a lot of great work done. And you have the email address, cimaster@umcspe.ma. That's it there on the bottom of the screen. And there's also our website, which is sci.umcspe.ma. And you can see the faculty there. Okay, so thank you very much. I think we're about to, I think this part of the show is over. So thanks to everybody who joined, and thanks to all of the people who are viewing for tuning in.
Thank you.
I think that what we should be asking ourselves is what really is happening in Africa. And I think that it is remarkable in terms of a rising Africa and a new Africa and a lot of the different conversations that I've had. I've just come from King Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, which I think was, to put it in vernacular, blew my mind away. I was just really fantastic.
Je crois que le rêve du roi Mohamed VI, de voir que le Maroc, certainement qu'il y a des ressources, mais surtout compter sur les ressources humaines et de bâtir ces ressources, pas seulement pour le Maroc, mais pour l'Afrique et pour le monde. Donc, ce que nous sommes en train de construire ici, c'est de voir comment le monde de demain peut apprendre de l'Afrique.
I've seen here transformation. So when we talk about transformation of African economies, this is an excellent example of what can be made. It's a necessary element to transform fundamentally African economies by bringing together knowledge, education, and production.